everybody, welcome back to the show. So happy to have you here on this love day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I have some really cool treats in store for you today as we celebrate love. So, this is a little something that you can whip up, whether it's Valentine's Day or any other day, for you or your loved one, or just because. So for me, I've decided I wanted to do a couple of things that I can enjoy a little later today for myself. So I am a person who loves to nosh. Like, I don't really have to have a meal. I can graze all day long. So today's appetizer that I'm preparing is so decadent. It is, I know there's that word again. Remember last time I couldn't say it. I was all tripping, but decadent. It's very decadent, but it's so simple to make, but it's so elegant. So what we're going to be preparing is Brie En Croute, which means in French, it's just brie in a baked, it's just brie in a puff pastry. So time is of the essence, so we're going to hop right to it. What you want to do is you want to get a box of puff pastry. I love puff pastry because you can make savory dishes with it, and you can also prepare sweet dishes with it. So you want to get, it usually comes in a box with 2 sheets, and you want to take 1 sheet, you want to get it at room temperature, which is going to take about 20 to 30 minutes for it to get to that temperature. You want to put it on a lightly floured board. Let's take my ring off. And you want to roll it until it's maybe an 11-inch square. Let's get all of this out of the way. See, mine has been out a little long while we were preparing for the show, but it's okay. We are still going to make it work. Yeah, it's just fine. Any longer, you don't want it to stay out too long, because then once you start to pull it together, it'll tear. So you don't want to do that. Then you want to get your brie. Now, if you don't like brie, you can always use camembert cheese. But I love brie. Comes in this little round, and it has a rind on it. Some people just put it in there with it. I don't like the rind, so I'm cutting it off. So I've already taken the sides off in the interest of time, and now I am cutting the rind off the top. Now, if all of it doesn't come off, it's okay. I can take a little bit of it, but I don't like a lot of it because it has a bitter taste to it to me. Some people like it and they don't mind it, but I don't care for it, so I'm cutting it off. And sometimes at the expense of taking some of the cheese, but oh well, it's okay. All right. Let's take off a little more. There. That's decent. We'll make that work. We'll make it work. Take that, place it in there, so it's out of our way. There. And like I said, it's okay if you have a little, but I don't want a lot of rind. Actually, I'm going to take off a little bit more because, like I said, it's just bitter. There. Now, when you're doing Brie En Croute, you can make it savory, you can add sweet stuff to it. Today I'm adding, we're going to be doing brown sugar and almonds. And, the two of those, those two things together with the creaminess of the brie and the puff pastry is so good. You can always fill it with a jam. You can do it with a raspberry jam, apricot jam, any jam that you want, orange marmalade, whatever you like, strawberry, fruit. To me, the citrus fruits are better, but it doesn't matter. You can really do any kind of filling as far as the jam or the jelly part if you want. But for today, I'm not doing a jelly or a jam. I'm just going to do the brown sugar and the almonds. You can also make this savory by putting mushrooms and caramelized onions in it. I mean, you can do whatever you want to fill this with. But like I said, we're just going to do, it's about 2 tablespoons or just 2 big spoonfuls, and it's perfect to cover the brie. So those are the sliced almonds. And you can toast the nuts too if you want, but I always find that it's just fine to just keep it just as is without toasting them. And now I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. All right. So now I'm going to cut into corners, in each corner, just a line. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to how you wrap it, really, but because sometimes in the past I've just simply just wrapped it. You know what, actually, and we're going to do one more in the middle so that we have 8 corners all together. And we're going to just kind of wrap it there. And you want to make sure you have enough space around there, around it. And we're just going to wrap. And like I said, it doesn't have to be like perfect. Just pull the sides up. Until it forms somewhat of like a little design, so to speak. Make sure it's cut through. And just making sure that it's covered. I'll be honest with you, this is the first time that I've actually done it where I've cut it. Normally you know, if you don't want to go through the cutting part like I just did, you can actually just gather it all together in the center and take some cooking twine and make it like a little pouch, which is really cute. But I thought I'd try to be, you know, a little extra fancy on V-Day for y'all. And then there we are. We have our little brie package all wrapped up. And I'm just going through and tucking it back in just so it looks a little pretty there. Now we're going to take egg wash. Y'all probably remember that from the biscuit recipe, but egg wash is everything. Remember, it's just 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of water, and you mix it together like you would scrambled eggs. And then we're going to brush that all over the puff pastry. And that's going to make it nice and shiny and pretty. There. I want to make sure we get it nicely doused in the egg wash so that it's nice and shiny all over. We don't want to miss any spots. So let's get in there. And it also helps to keep it sealed too. All right. Okay, good people. And then you want to place it on a baking sheet with a parchment paper, with a slice of parchment paper. And then we're going to quickly transfer it over. There. And we're going to place it in the oven that I've already had preset at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes until it's golden brown. So while that is baking, next, you know, because this is all about Love Day, I'm going to show you how you can easily transform grocery store flowers into a beautiful, yet simple but easy bouquet. Right back. Hey, welcome back everybody. So while our Brie En Croute is in the oven, I thought, you know, I'd show you how, as I mentioned, how to transform some very simple, basic bouquets that I picked up this morning from Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's flowers because they're, one, always super fresh, they're very inexpensive, and I can get so much for my money. These three bouquets were, let's see, this is a double bouquet of tulips, you know, because it's Valentine's Day, they had a lot of tulips and things like that. This was $10.99. The Gerber Daisies, I think, were $5.99, and then the Hydrangea, one of my favorites, flowers, was only $5.99. So that's 12, 11, less than $25. We're getting ready to make several different arrangements. So let's get started with the Hydrangea first. I love Hydrangea because, one, you can really just make an arrangement with just these three stems, really, in a small enough vessel. I usually keep a lot of, you know, I get like these at like Home Goods for like $5. So I just usually keep different shapes around so that I can have them for my different arrangements. Hydrangeas, though, have a very thick stem. Very, very thick, like hard, like a branch, because it's on a branch. So what you want to do is, for starters, let's take away all the greens, because we don't want any of the greens down in the bottom of the vase, because that will form, you know, bacteria and all that gunky stuff that gets in there that's gross, and then your flowers won't last as long. So we want to keep them as bacteria free as possible. So we want to cut all of that away. So this is a square container of vase rather, and it is about 5 inches in width, and it's about 5 inches high. So it's a 5 by 5 vessel. So I'm going to cut. One of the things, let me stop. One of the things that I think most people tend to do when they get flowers from the florist is this is what they do. They'll take all of these, they'll put them in a tall vase, and then they'll just, you know, kind of arrange them. But to me, in my humble opinion, it's better to get a shorter vase so they look like they're styled a little bit more, and it looks like they actually came from a florist, almost. Almost. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. So we're going to cut it down. And I want it to be just a little above the lip of the vase. So we're going to cut it down a little more, but I don't want it to be too short. So that's why I'm taking my time with cutting it down. Still too tall. That's good. That's perfect, actually. So now we have it at the length that we want. There. Now what we want to do is you want to take your scissors and go vertically and cut into the stem. Why do we want to do that? Because they're so thick, and we want water to get in there so that it can stay hydrated and stay fresh and pretty. Because hydrangeas are very temperamental anyway, so you want to make sure from the onset, you know, at the onset, that you're getting as much water up there as possible. So we have one. And what you can do too, quick tip with hydrangea, is we're going to take the other one that we already measured, so we don't have to go through all that, you know, measuring stuff again. And we're going to go through the same step. But one of the things you can do with hydrangeas when they do start to lose their life and start to kind of die is take some boiling hot water, or you can just put a little bit in the microwave. Stick your stems down in the hot water for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then put them back into some fresh, clean water into your vase, and overnight, your hydrangeas will come back to life. It's amazing. The first time it happened, I was like in awe. Like, wow, it really worked. And it does really work. Now, let me tell you this before you know, so you guys won't, you know, bomb me out if it doesn't work. Now, it helps if your flowers from the beginning were very fresh to begin with. And you don't have any way of knowing that. But I'll tell you this, that test is a good test to see if your flowers are really fresh. Because if they come back to life, then you know you had some really good fresh flowers to begin with. So, we always want to cut our flowers at an angle as well, too. Because, again, that helps the water to get up to the top. So we just kind of want to arrange them in our vase, and we want to make sure, again, go back through, and sometimes you won't be able to tell. We want to make sure there are no leaves or anything under the water. So we want to take all of these. I don't always like to take all of them off, but in this case, these were kind of hanging kind of low, so we're going to have to put them, we're going to have to take them off. Now, sometimes you have to play a little bit. Sometimes you didn't cut it exactly evenly. See, that one is still a little too tall, so let's cut it a little more. Again, you have to play with it a little bit. That's why it's called arranging, floral arranging, because you do have to arrange them a little bit and rearrange them sometimes. But see, already, just alone with just the hydrangeas, I often just have hydrangeas in my arrangement. It's already pretty, just with those 3 stems. But I'm going to leave a little hole over there now that we've cut some down and we're starting our arranging. You know the little flower food that comes with it? You really want to use that. I mean, it's food. I'm going to take one of my stems, stir that up a little bit so it's not all cloudy in my arrangement. And now we can proceed. So now we're going to take, like I said, I often just keep I often buy hydrangeas and calla lilies the most. That's what I often buy. And in late spring, I love peonies. So those are my kind of 3 go-to flowers. So now we have some Gerber Daisies. So I thought these were pretty. So we're just gonna, stick some in there, stick them around. Kind of want them scattered throughout. Get a few more. I love flowers. Love, love, love flowers. Flowers just make your home so much, I don't know. They just bring so much joy to your home when you have fresh flowers. So I love having them around. I usually try to have some throughout our home. So we have the Gerber Daisies placed all throughout. And we're going to hold on to these 3. I'm going to put those aside. And let's move some of this garbage out of our way so you can really see what we're doing here. All right. So, and sometimes with flowers, you need to kind of like look around at different angles just to make sure that everything is the way you want it. So I like to, just kind of look around, move some things around. And you want to make sure there's symmetry. You want things to look even. You don't want there to be like too much on one side. So I want to make sure that that the Gerber Daisies are evenly dispersed through the arrangement. There. They look pretty good. We'll probably play with that again. But now we have some pink tulips. And we're going to stick some of these in our arrangement as well. And again, we want to, scatter them throughout. And I want these to be a little bit, I'm taking some of the greens off too. Again, some of them, I want some of them to stay. But I want these to be a little bit longer, a little bit taller than the rest of the arrangement, just a little bit, just ever so slightly taller. So that there's some dimension too. We don't want it to be you know, all the same height, you know. We want there to be a little bit of dimension to it. And we just want to scatter them again. Let's see. Is that there? Okay, looking pretty good. Let's see. This, I feel like we should move that. And I think we can say that this one, let's see, again, you have to play. It's arranging. That one wanted to flop over. So there we have it. We have a lovely floral arrangement. Ta-da! That you just made yourself. So if someone gives you some flowers from now on, you don't just have to stick them up in a vase. You can put them in a shorter vase to make a more of a chicer, you know, more of a chic-like arrangement. And there's one. Now what I love too, let's keep that so you can see that. And I may end up going back and playing around with it. But what I love about flowers too is, let's say for instance, something is going to die in this arrangement before something else does, right? So what I love to do is I love to take it as the week goes on, and if things, you know, don't kind of make it as long as I would like, I like to go from here. Then I may end up going to a medium, to a next, let's call this a large arrangement, down to a medium arrangement. I may have to discard some things. And then, because we have extra here, we're going to make some smaller little arrangements. And these are nice. You know, I have some side tables in my living room. You know, I may want to put some in I may put one of these in my bedroom so that I can, like, you know, have flowers everywhere. Sometimes I stick some in the bathroom. Normally I keep orchids in the bathroom, but I may add like a smaller little vessel with some other flowers in it too, just to mix it up. You can never have too many flowers. That's what I say. And again, we want to make sure we take the greens off. In this case, we want to keep some of them on because I'm going to be using them in this smaller vessel to fill it up. You know what I'm saying? To fill up the width of the vessel. But yeah, it is not expensive to have flowers in your home every week and for them to look really nice and arranged, you know, without it, like I said, you don't have to just plop them in a vase, and you can actually style them and they look really pretty. So out with this less than $25, we are able to make 3 arrangements, and these arrangements will last me all week long for the most part. Stick that one in there. And these last few, let's grab these. But I love Trader Joe's because I can take, if I have $50, I can have flowers in every room in my place, which I love, 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 love. All right. Then we're going to go back over in this one, and I'm feeling like this one needs a little more love, so we're going to put some of these tulips that we had left over in this one. Hold on, guys. I'm going to check our Brie really quickly. Okay, we're on schedule. Almost ready. And we'll put these here. Ta-ta-ta. And since we have this extra, Gerber Daisy. We're going to find a little home for it too. Let's see. Put it right in here. So we'll have 2 in the center. That's pretty. And guys, let's clear all this off. And in a few minutes, and with a little less than $25, you've got the rearrangements. I'll go back through and I'll add some food to the smaller ones while we're on break, but I wanted you to see what we were able to create in just a matter of moments. They're beautiful. Voila. We'll be right back with the Brie En Croute. Hey everybody, so our Brie En Croute is out of the oven. We're going to, it's nice and golden brown. It poofed up a little bit outside of our little circle, but it's all good. Trust me, it will get devoured. So I'm going to put this back here so that it can cool. And while it's cooling, great segue. While it's cooling, we're going to have something nice and cool and refreshing to drink with our whole little spread here. So I thought that I would prepare today as an ode to Valentine's Day, a Strawberry Lemonade Spritzer. And what we're going to do is, I'm not making any homemade lemonade today, but I'm going to make up for that because what I did was we're going to make a strawberry puree that's going to go in our spritzer. And all this is I took about 10 strawberries, I cut them into big chunks, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and maybe about a tablespoon or so of lemon juice, and I let it cook down. But they're beautiful because they're nice and glossy strawberries. And see how they held their color? They are gorgeous still. And that's made like a sauce. Now you could stop here and you can put this on top of pancakes, an ice cream sundae, cheesecake, whatever you like. But for the purposes of this drink, we're going to place the syrup in the blender so that we can puree them. So that it'll, mesh nicely and be nice and smooth when we put them in our spritzer. So we're going to just pulse that for a few seconds. But before I pulse, I realized I didn't pull out the wine. The wine! Like I said, guys, you have to bear with me while I'm getting all this stuff together. Trying to remember everything is so much. But it's all good. So now we're going to pulse our strawberries for a few secs. Nice and smooth. And that's all we need. It's perfect. So now I'm just using some Simply Lemonade. And I like this because for the most part, I try to do as much as I can from scratch. You will learn that over time because I just think that things are better when you prepare them from scratch. But sometimes, in the interest of time, when you're feeling a little lazy, you're not going to always make every single solitary thing from scratch. I mean, I don't make every single solitary thing from scratch anyway, but I do try to cook things and prepare things from scratch as often as possible. But I also try to go for things that I know taste as close to homemade as possible. And Simply Lemonade is that for me because it doesn't have all that extra chemically aftertaste. Simply Lemonade, holler at your girl if you need somebody to represent you, to be a brand ambassador or something. That was real. But anyway, we're going to take the Simply Lemonade. And I thought, it's a festive occasion. We're going to I'm gonna fill them about 3/4 full. Yeah, about 3/4 full of the lemonade. Then we're gonna take some of this yummy puree and place that, oh, isn't that so pretty? Right on top. Right on top. That's gorgeous. And this is enough for you to do maybe one more glass you can get out of there. And then grab the big spoon. This is a smaller spoon. Ideally, you should be using a, there, we just kind of want to stir it down in there a little bit. So we get all that pretty strawberry bits all throughout. Let's do this one again. Isn't that pretty? And so simple and lovely. And then we're gonna finish it with just a little bit. I'm not a drinker, so you could have put more wine in it. Of course, some people are like, why didn't she put more wine in it? I'm not a big wine drinker, but at all, really. I've just started dabbling a little bit. And then I took a strawberry lengthwise, and I just put a little slit in it so that I could place it on the side of the glass. And voila, it's so gorgeous. Let me do a little tasting for you. You know, I'm gonna be the Secret Service, make sure it's all right so don't poison y'all. Oh yeah, babe. Oh yeah. I'm giving one to my cameraman slash grown son, Darius. See what he thinks.
Yeah, it's big time.
It's good?
Yeah, it's real good.
And again, you can add more wine if you like, because it is a wine spritzer. Like I said, I'm not a drinker, so that little hit is just enough for me. But you can even it out and put, you know, more of a ratio between the wine and the lemonade for you. You can make it more wine tasting if you want and just add more of a splash of the lemonade. But I prefer to do it the other way around. But it's really, really good and it's really, really refreshing. And just make sure everything is really, really cold. And ideally, you can also put your stemware in the freezer so your glasses are nice and frosted so everything stays really cold, but delish. So we'll be right back, and we're gonna put our little Brie En Croute ensemble together. Be right back. It's delish. Hey everybody. That spritzer is so good. So, our Brie En Croute is out of the oven. And, well, it's nice and hot. I want to cut it open. So you want to kind of cut it into a little wedge. And I don't know if you can see that closely, but you can see the cheese and the brown sugar and the almonds have already kind of formed together and blended in with the pastry. So let's just give this a taste. Oh yeah. It's delicious. And see, as I cut into it, you can really see how cheesy and gooey. You can see how the almonds and the brown sugar and the brie have all melded together. It's delicious. It's seriously, it's really, really good. And like I said, you can replace it with different fruits. And during the holidays, I like to add cranberries, dried cranberries to it. There's so much you can do with that, but it's a simple appetizer. And it's so impressive to people because they think you went through all this trouble and it's super fancy schmancy, you know, Brie En Croute, you know, just sounds so shishi poo poo. But I thought, because this is your girl's dinner tonight, because I'm not going anywhere in this here quarantine, pandemic situation. So I thought, I love a good charcuterie board. You know, fancy for meat and cheese board. Again, it's French. Charcuterie, which is the proper pronunciation, actually means cured meat. Like salami or prosciutto or pepperoni. Those are all cured meats. But, you know, we've added cheeses and fruits and pâtés and hummus and all kinds of things to our charcuterie plate. So I'm going to do a baby one. We'll eventually get to making a real full kind of to-do. But today, I'm just going to kind of mix and mash and kind of make it my own. And now you can make charcuterie plates. People do them for brunch now. I've seen them with waffles and fruit and all kinds of stuff. So I love them. And like I said, since I like to nosh, and this is going to be kind of like a noshing kind of evening for me, this is perfect. So let me show you for starters. I love pepperoni. And I thought, you know, I was just going to put it on the plate. But then I saw this big sensation that's been going around for a while on Pinterest and on the internet in general, where you actually make pepperoni roses. Now I just have a little plastic, you know, like these are like the little cups that come in like your storageware sets, and it's just for like your salad dressing or a little side of something or whatever. And it is a little over an ounce, 1.18 ounce size. In diameter, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 2 inches, right? So we're going to make a pepperoni rose or two to put on our board. I thought, let's make it pretty and fancy. It's Valentine's Day. So you want to take the pepperoni or salami. You could also use salami. I'm just not a salami girl, so we're going to make a pepperoni rose. And you're going to take it and place it around the perimeter of your cup, around the mouth. You can also use a champagne flute if you want. I could have used the champagne flutes that we use for our drinks, for our spritzers, but that to me was just going to be a little too wide. You need more of the slimmer, traditional champagne flutes. And you want to get it. Now see, this pepperoni, they didn't cut it evenly. It's a little thick, so we're going to toss that one aside. And we want to put it in layers around the perimeter of just as so, and just overlap it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because is a rose perfect? No, it's not. So we're just going to keep on applying it around, and then we're going to stick the final few just in the middle. And actually, even as you're applying, you can already see it's already starting to look like a flower, right? I'm going to stick one more in for good measure. You want to make sure it's all like formed on. And we're going to put it right here in the center of our board. And voila. We have a pepperoni rose. So simple. It's coming apart a little bit. Sometimes, depending on how it adhered to the object that you use to put it on the container. We're going to just keep that on there for a second. But I just want you to see how simple it is. I'm going to eat this pepperoni because I'm hungry. Okay. So, next, we want to, I stay hungry, y'all. I do. I promise you I do. So next, you know, we're just going to start to just place our fruit around. So again, you can make this anything you want. Actually I'm going to take the smaller bunch off and I'm going to put this bigger one on. It's much like the flowers. You can just kind of play around with things. I have my red grapes. I have strawberries. You can add raspberries, blackberries, apple slices, whatever you want. Dried fruits is your board. Like I said, we'll get into the particulars of a charcuterie board at a later date. This is just kind of like my little makeshift charcuterie board. So we have that there. And I have some strawberries that I've already sliced in half, and I'm keeping the stem on because I just think that's pretty. So I'm just going to put a few of those here. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. That's why I love a charcuterie board, because you can make, really, literally, you can make it what you want. There aren't any hard and fast rules. So we've got that there. And I think we have enough strawberries there. So next, we're going to, because this is, like I said, I'm going to be grazing on this all day. So I have these really cute little paper cups that you can bake in, you know, cupcakes or whatever, but you can also use them as little containers to put things in. So because you gotta have chocolate because it's Valentine's Day, because. So I have these chocolate covered pretzels that I'm gonna place in this little cup here. And then, because I want to, like I said, this is going to be like a meal, you know. I don't have any vegetables, but just pretend I do. We're just going to make this like a little, you know, all-encompassing kind of thing. I have these delicious these little last of my cookies that my goddaughter sent me. Hi, Carolyn. Sent me for my birthday from this really popular bake shop in San Francisco. And these are some lemon shortbreads. So I figure I have the chocolate, and then I may want something a little bit lighter. So I'm going to put some of my little lemon shortbreads in there too. So there. So we have that there. So then we have the Brie En Croute, right? And it's already in a puff pastry. We don't really need crackers, but you gotta have crackers if you got cheese and you're making a board, right? So I have these artisan crackers that I'm going to fit. I'm just gonna kind of, oops, that one broke, so we'll put that one aside. It's no big deal, we'll get another one. Slide that in there. And then, since we have one kind of cracker, may as well go for it. And I have these other pita bites, multi-grain pita bites. Uh-oh, cookie down. Don't want to step on that. And we'll put a few of those here. Just kind of slide them in, and you just find little pockets where you can add things, to your plate. Then I have some salt and pepper pistachios because I love pistachios. So I'm just gonna put a few of these like right here on this little spot. I'm just gonna put them in a little pile right through there. And then I have some almonds, and I have some pecans that I made that have kind of like a sweet and sour kind of a sweet and sour kind of taste to them. I'm going to slide a few of those in there too. And I love almonds. Even though we have almonds inside the brie, we're going to just, sprinkle some through there too. We're going to take now our rose is all set now. Yay. And we'll move all this aside so you can see what we have going here. And then I'm going to take, to finish it, my strawberry fan. I'm going to place one, slide that over a little bit, right there. And let me show you very quickly how I made that. Let me grab my knife. And all you want to do with that is just take your strawberry, place it upside down, and thin slices, not super thin, but pretty thin, like little slices. You just want to slice it vertically. Slice, Slice. Slice. And then you fan it out. Fancy, huh? And we're just gonna sit that one there. We'll put this other one. Yeah, we'll just put it on top of the strawberries there. And we have our lovely little charcuterie. Okay, and I'm going to add a few, because again, it is Valentine's Day. I'm going to add a few more chocolates. I have these lovely Godiva chocolates that I've been saving, because I've been trying not to, I got them for Christmas too, from my goddaughter. She knows to send me food. So, you know, just kind of want to style those there. I'm going to put a few more crackers on, and we are, it's ready for its close-up. Ta-da! There you have it. We have our Brie En Croute. We have a little bit of a charcuterie situation going on. You know, a little noshing board. It's kind of heavy, so I can't really here. But we're all set. And the beauty of this is that, let's say, of course, I'm not going to eat all of this. I probably will eat about half of it, though. I can't eat all of it. So when I'm ready to reheat it, I'll reheat it tomorrow for at 200 degrees, because you don't want it really, the oven really high, for about 20 minutes until it get, 15, 20 minutes until it's warm. And then it's almost like, you have a fresh appetizer to nosh on the next day or the day thereafter. It'll stay in the refrigerator for about 3 days. That's about as long as you want to keep it. But trust me, you won't keep it that long. The other one, the last tip I want to give you about this is, let's say you're having a party, and you wanted to prepare this ahead of time. So all you had to do was just place it in the oven. Yes, you can freeze this. I'll put how long you can freeze it. I need to double check that. But you can definitely freeze this without the egg wash, and then just take it out when you're ready to prepare it for your, for your event. Like I said, if you're doing multiple things around the holidays, or you're preparing it for a bridal shower or brunch or whatever, and you just wanted to have that kind of tucked away, you can definitely tuck it away and save it for later. I'm all about the now and later. You know that. I think y'all are going to be learning that about me. I love to have something to prepare now, and then love to have a little bit later. But here you guys go. We're all set for Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day, everybody. So, don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, spread the word, share my page. I'm trying to build followers. Also, follow me on IG. I don't think I've mentioned that to you. You can follow me on IG at fabuleux_living. Same thing on Pinterest. I'm getting ready to get Facebook and TikTok and all that other stuff too, but I'm definitely on Instagram, so come and holler at your girl. Happy Love Day. Blessings. It's good.